remember last week we were talking about house helps and how to avoid cultivating romantic relationships with them that could lead to the collapse of your marriage. I'm playing the guitar and it brings me reminders of a famous line from one of Prince Nico Baraga's songs. It is like, as you make your bed, so shall you lie on it, right? If you transpose that into marital relationships, it would sound something like the ingredients that you bring together will provide the recipe for success or failure in your marriage. We'll be concentrating on that. That's staying away a bit from the virus and trying to see how we could keep our families intact and our marriages last for as long as ever. Thanks for coming.
Thank you very much.
TATOH, Kenneth. You know what? I actually just broke the laws of tacit gallantry requires that we greet the women first. Welcome, Miss Chantal TATOH.
Thank you.
It's such a pleasure to see you here after we've been seeing Masa and Uga for all of this. Well, thank you sincerely for coming to us, right? So how are you doing?
I'm okay, thank you.
Fine.
Okay,
I'm tempted to say good.
good.
Despite the virus?
It's keeping us on our toes and we are staying safe.
Do you have house helps at home?
I do. And I don't just call them house helps.
How you call them?
Family. They're my children.
Oh, great. Do you? I asked him this question. I don't want you looking at him when you respond, right?
Yeah.
I asked him this question the last time he came around, and I said, do you eat on the same table? Do you have dinner, lunch, and breakfast on the same table with the house helps? You're looking at him. I said, don't look at him.
We do, but given that often we are very busy and we come home often late, most of the time before we come that they have eaten, but when the opportunity presents itself, we to eat together.
All right. And you think that's the perfect way to go with
it's a way of integrating them into the family and making them feel at home and also enabling them to give you the best of themselves.
Do you have male house helps?
So far we haven't had one.
Okay, so they're only female house helps?
Yeah.
Girls?
For our 12 years in marriage we've had.
Who makes the choice? Do you bring them in or Masa brings them in?
At times he does and I do too. We just launch for the search and whoever sees first, we take.
Okay. Now, I'm sorry, I'm just stretching you on this a bit, but it's because people need to know how to go about this thing. It's a complicated thing, right? If you don't handle it well. When you get the girls to come and live with you and provide help, do you go for the very ugly ones or will you go for the pretty girl? And there's a trap in that question, right? I'll tell you how.
We don't go for looks. We go for character.
Okay.
We go for someone who's available and teachable. We don't get the looks.
Okay. You know why I asked that question?
No.
Because sometimes they're so pretty and so tempting that Masa may begin to nurture ideas.
Our very first daughter was quite pretty.
Oh, and nothing happened?
Yeah, and she was, I think we still love her very much.
Oh, she's moved on now.
Yeah, she moved on.
What did she become? What has she become?
She's in school right now. She'll be writing her A-levels this year.
Wow.
And the current one has been with us for like 7 years.
Gee, that's a long time, right?
Yeah.
You spend a lot of money on them.
We do as much as we do for our kids.
Congratulations once again, and thanks sincerely for your honesty and eloquence with those responses. I'll turn over to Oga now. He's called TATOH, Kenneth. He's everything, right? He's a banker, he is a man of God, he's an author, he's a motivational speaker, and then he is our marriage counselor, which means that if your relationship is heading towards the rocks, this is the person to get in touch with for solutions about how to rescue your marriage. Even if you're not married yet, right? If you're, cultivating a relationship that you think will end up in marriage, get in touch with him. He'll give you the advice, what to stay away from and what to embrace as you look for your future husband or wife. Thank you for coming. I think we just brushed it up, right?
In fact,
the cultivation of romance with house helps and masters and mistresses.
It's so good, and this is a very special edition of the program for me because
yeah, that's the first time we're having you both here.
You know, each time I'm here, I'm of course incomplete, and today I think I'm more confident, and I'm happy.
I could see the love, you know, like when I said don't look at Massa when you're responding, and she kept on, you know, spying from the corner of your eye. I could see the smile on their face, and I say, yeah, that's a successful couple already. Because moving ahead, we'll be looking at how to ensure that your marriage is successful.
Actually, especially at a time like this when the virus has called for quarantining
and distance
and social distancing and all the other things
and it's
together.
Terrible, right?
And it is a time where couples will choose to make homage their marriages. Somebody said each time they get in the morning, they go their ways, maybe come back and meet in the evening and spend just a little time, and they are off to bed. But now they have a longer time to spend together. The realities will be staring at them in the face, and they will either use the opportunity to reinforce their marital bond or use it to crack it completely and end up going their separate ways. So
possible.
Yeah,
right.
We thought it is good and it's very important for us to share a few tips that when implemented, married life is made better.
How would you define marital success? Is it like staying in there for 60 years despite the odds?
Longevity is subjective. What am I talking of? Longevity, to stay for a very long time without enjoying married life is not all that there is to it.
I know how Kejan describes really, I mean, between Anglophones and Francophones under Cameroonian skies, right? Kejan says the trouble all started because the French-speaking Cameroonians think that the English-speaking Cameroonians were a captured people. And so if you treat your spouse like that, your marriage is going to be on the rocks.
Honestly, treating your spouse like a captured subject.
Entity, right.
Yeah, it is actually dangerous. Yeah, it's dangerous. I think marital success should be defined in terms of one, enjoying the married life, during the time together, not for one of the persons to feel as if he or she had entered a personal wilderness that he won't be able to come out for several reasons. Right. So the first of things is enjoying marital bliss, where you can, like I often say, that if I were to marry again, I would still marry my wife. So that is actually
hey, that's sweet to hear. Madam, you should be clapping. No, you won't clap, right? Because you hear this every day, right? But that's the best thing I heard in about 5 months. About that, you know. That's great to hear.
Yeah.
I hope these people who are watching, do you say the same things to your spouses like this one? Those are some of the spices that you drop in the soup and then it stays there for and it's mouth-watering as ever for forever, right?
Yeah, because the issue is that there are some people who are they're stuck to one another just because it happened, and they won't refrain from regretting ever taking the decision to marry whoever they are married to. So if it's gotten to a point where you can in fact you feel like there is no perfect marriage. There's no perfect marriage.
Okay, there are always the hurdles and the obstacles.
Yeah, there will be moments of ups and downs, but the couple that makes it big in a marriage is the couple that has identified how to sort their issues when they crop up, how they can sort themselves out. The encouragement we've often given people is that the first of things to say is love may bring two people together in marriage, but I think what keeps the marriage is commitment.
Okay.
Yes. If love brings the two of you together and the two of you are not committed to one another, committed to the marriage, the tendency for it to, hit the rocks will be there. There are moments. Every married person will surely, bear with me on what I'm saying. There are moments you feel like this person doesn't love me, or it's like this person, what will make you to keep going is commitment for several reasons or at various levels. You're committed to your spouse. That is, you don't want anything to come between the two of you. You don't want anything to serve as a stressor to the marriage, because you want it to work. That commitment is what helps, is what keeps going.
All right.
Yeah.
See, I'm keenly listening to you and asking myself, you know, commitment, it could be like a cross that you carry around. Despite how painful, how heavy it is, you just keep on carrying it because you are committed to success.
Well, the commitment comes to build commitment in the other person. Commitment, there is a boomerang effect in it. I don't know whether boomerang has a positive connotation, but
yeah, so commitment begets commitment.
Yes, commitment begets commitment. Thank you very much.
It doesn't sound.
It sounds so King Jamish. What you said is good. Commitment begets commitment.
Right.
Yeah, it is good because one thing I believe, that marriage is work. If you are not ready for hard work, you are not ready for marriage. Good marriages don't just happen. They are a result of consistent and intentional work to make it work.
Okay.
Yeah. Day in, day out, there are issues that should, you know, may cause you to start taking your spouse for granted. But if you live for as long as 20 years, 30 years, the best lesson you can learn is not to take one another for granted. It's like, okay, she's already my wife, what will she do?
Yeah.
He's already my husband, he's already taken, what will he do? It's not good to take your
anything that crops up is deja vu, right? We can, you know, fly over it and behave as if nothing happened. That's where the danger begins creeping.
It begins from there, when you start taking one another for granted, and it is some sort of gradual process. You know, divorce, people end up picking a divorce not the day they get divorced. It's a gradual process. One thing came to add on another thing came to add on another, and the things were not addressed in time. So when you learn in your marriage to hit the iron while it is still hot, you are going to, at least to a very great degree, eradicate the possibility of catching a divorce in that marriage.
I'm going to turn over to Miss Chantal TATOH right now and ask you, what's been the recipe? For how long have you been in there?
Well, we've been loving each other and staying faithful and committed and really enjoying the marriage.
Can you say that a bit louder, please?
We've been loving each other, enjoying the marriage, and staying committed to each other. 11 to 12 years.
Jeez.
And I won't mix my word. He's the best thing that ever happened.
Congratulations, man. I heard something new once again. That's the best show I think we're going to have on this place for as long as you are going to remember. That's so perfect to hear. What do you tell the people who are getting disappointed? I know couples who have been in there for 15 years and they say, I can't continue anymore. What advice do you give people like that?
In addition to what my husband just said, it requires commitment. It also requires sacrifice. Be ready to lay down your life for one another and make each other your priority at all times. I will say that marriage can still be enjoyed. Marriage is still a very good thing, and it requires you to work, it requires you to sacrifice, it requires you to be committed, it requires you to take your responsibilities. Stay on track with the roles and the responsibility in marriage. And when we talk of roles and responsibility, we automatically think of the prescriptions from Ephesians 5, which requires you, the woman, to respect and submit to her husband, and the husband,
but not like captured material.
Not like captured material, and the wife and the husband to love the wife unconditionally.
All right. Even if they do what you cannot stand, right?
Yeah, that is where the sacrifice and the commitment comes in.
You see, I don't want to say thank you for coming because I don't want you to go. But what we're going to do is just ask you to please come back again.
I'll try.
And I did inform our viewers that you are also a motivational speaker, that you are also into the Bible, you know, and you're just like everything, right? Please come again. We'll do the proper introductions the next time you're here.
Yeah, it's a pleasure, and I really appreciate the viewers for staying tuned to Insight. And we've had a lot of positive comments, and
Oh.
We are happy. We are touching homes in our own little way through your efforts.
I'm gonna play a song for you. I'm thinking about what song to play for you. I'll think about it. Thanks for coming.
It's a pleasure to always be here.
Can you bring her as often as possible? It's true that marriage counseling is a regular feature on the inside. It comes up every Friday.
I will do my best, even if it takes the Grand National Dialogue. I will do my best.
Thank you for coming, right?
Yeah, sure.
I see. I'm blessed. I'm blessed. Congratulations once again for all you're doing. Is the book finally out?
Sure.
Oh, the
reprint, yeah.
the reprints. Right, we'll have them when you come around on Friday next week. That's a book about helping you to resolve all of the conflicts you have in your marriage. It's only 3,000 francs CFA. From next week, we'll start selling them right here. So keep your money, right? Because when you're in confinement, read as much as possible.